Hey, it's Devin, and this is the Youngbloods. What is going on, everybody? I am back. I am no longer dealing with some stuff. Had to deal with some stuff, but now I'm back. Now we got things going. We are going live. We are here. We've got stuff being said, being done. We have emails. I've actually got some stuff I'm going to change up a little bit. Not tonight, but later. But yeah, it's kind of, it's been stressful the past few days, as stress in life can be. But honestly, in the end, it always works out. No matter what the stress is, it will work out. I've had my stress, and I'm over my stress, and I'm just here for what it is. And yeah, life's good. Life's good. So anyway, we got some emails. We got some emails to do. So that being said, let me see if I can get to them. Some of them down here at the end. Been revamping some stuff, changing some stuff around. Nothing major, but just trying to get everything where I would like it to go. It's the ever evolving, constantly changing thing. That's just how life is. Life always changes. Life has always done that way. And if you don't evolve and you don't change, then what else do you got? So that being said, let me find these emails. I am almost there. Scrolling down, I had to put some. I rearranged them so Sundays I'm gonna be doing Sunday stuff. We're gonna do this pretty much every day of the week, but on Sunday we're gonna just do it for an hour. And Sundays we're gonna be talking about. I've been getting a lot of religious type questions, and I'm here going. You know what? I can answer these. I know how to answer these. These will be easy to answer, and let's do that on Sunday. So there we go. That's the goal. We're going to do this, get this going. I'm going to do this 7 days a week now, which is crazy because there's a lot of time, a lot of prep that has to be done on top of what I normally do. I just took a new consulting little gig just for kicks and giggles. So there's that. But yeah, it's the normal everyday shuffle that everybody has. I mean, everybody works hard, and then keeping up with the side hobby, but also the full-time job is difficult because I holidays are coming up, and because holidays are coming up, obviously I'm here going, you know what? I'm going to do a little consulting gig. So that's what I did. I agreed to do it, so I'm doing it. And so here I am. Anyway, I guess we'll get this thing started. Here we go. Hey, Devin, lately I've been feeling left out in my group of friends. They're all getting married, having kids, buying houses, and here I am still single, renting an apartment, and just trying to figure things out. Every time we hang out, I feel like I'm on a completely different wavelength. It's not that I'm unhappy with my life, but it's hard to relate to them anymore, and I'm starting to feel really isolated. Is this just part of growing up, or am I doing something wrong? How do I stay connected with my friends when we're in such different life stages? Here's the thing. When you have friends and you're growing up, and this is probably one of the hardest things to tell your kids and teach your kids and tell anyone as life goes on and as you grow up, is everything that you think you know is going to be different. Everything that you're doing in life is going to be different. Your friends that you have in high school, you're probably not going to end up being friends with them forever. You can be. Don't get me wrong. You can be friends with you're with in high school for forever. It really just comes down to you. Now, yes, everybody goes different directions. Everybody's life is on different levels and everything, but it works itself out. So yeah, it looks like we are frozen. What about now? Maybe it didn't freeze. Who knows? We can fix this. Anyway, so here the thing is, as life changes, you gotta just do better, right? You gotta do, and when I mean do better, you got to just be happy with what you have, you got to, make sure that you're doing the things that you can do to get yourself where you need to go. Seriously. I mean, and the thing is, life can be hard, but we don't have to make it hard. We just got to be willing to go with those curveballs and change things up as we get those curveballs. Okay. Now, your friends are going to get married. You may get married. You may not be married right now. You may get married later. That all doesn't matter. What matters is how you handle it all. Now, how you handle it is simple. And when I say it's simple, it comes down to don't feel left behind, because you are going to be in a different place than they are, no matter what. Everybody's in a different level, and you're going to feel like some people are way ahead of you. Some people are going to be not ahead of you. So thank you very much, by the way. It comes down to just this is a comparison issue. And I think when people, as we get older and we're getting out of that stage of high school, we're getting into the young adulthood, and then I would say you're still kind of a kid in your 20s. Everybody considers you a kid in your 20s, but as you get out of their 20s and you get into the 30s, then what happens is people start to take you a little bit more serious, and that's probably where you are. I mean, you're in that stage of like, where do I belong? What do I do? How do I get to where I need to be? Because you want to be on the same page as your friends, but here's the thing. Don't ever expect to be on the same page with your friends. Stop comparing yourself. Your friends are getting married. Your friends are having kids. Your friends are buying houses. You don't have to be right there with them. As long as you're progressing in the right direction, as long as you're doing the things that are making you happy, as long as you're acknowledging the things that you need to acknowledge, as long as you're not becoming a criminal, and you're doing the things that help and will make your life better, you will be fine. That's seriously what it comes down to. I know it's stressful growing up and getting older. I mean, here I am. I'm 46 years old. I've had many different careers in my life. I've done a ton of different things, but I've never traveled the world. I've only started traveling, I say the world in general, in the past few months, and it's just been by myself because I've been on some TV shows. But that being said, that's what I want to do. That's where my wife and I want to be. I'm dipping my toes into it. But I have friends my age that have traveled everywhere. I have friends my age that have gone to multiple countries. I've been to 2 now. I've only been to 2 countries, and one is here in the United States. I've been to almost every state before, and my other country is Canada. Now, my Canadian friends up there, you're awesome. I love you. You have taught me some cool things. Your ketchup chips are amazing. Yes, I said ketchup chips. But the thing is, don't compare yourself in your life unless you just don't feel like you're progressing. Then you got to. If you feel like you're not progressing, then you just need to set some goals. I mean, goal setting is literally half the battle when it comes to life in general. If you don't set goals, you're never going to achieve anything. If you never achieve anything, then it's all on you, and then you have something to complain about. So the reality is, you'll be fine. Seriously, you will be fine. Just do it. Don't compare yourself to them. If you're happy and you truly are happy, then you'll be okay. Don't stress about it. Seriously, it's just one of those things. Anyway, that's where I stand on that one. Hey, Devin, my partner is constantly on their phone, whether we're having dinner, watching a movie, or just hanging out. It's like they can't go 5 minutes without checking social media or scrolling through their feed. I've tried bringing it up, but they act like it's no big deal or accuse me of overreacting. It's getting to the point where I feel like I'm competing with their phone for attention, and I'm starting to get really frustrated. How do I get them to put the phone down without coming across as controlling or needy? Okay, you know what? I mean, phones are a problem. I love technology. I like it. I like what it does. I like the things you can do with it. Phones are really cool. Okay, I can do so much with a phone. Back in my day, a phone was a phone, and I never used it for anything other than just a phone. And the occasional text message. My kids learned the other day that at one time in my life, you had to actually pay for minutes on a phone, and then you also had to pay per text message. That blew their mind. But I mean, okay. To get past this, you got to set boundaries. Okay. And yes, you probably feel like you are competing. And so one thing that my wife and I have done, this is something that we've done, and it doesn't necessarily make it easier, especially when you have kids and you have babysitters and things like that. Or if you go away and you're worried about your kids, what you do is this: when you go out to dinner, you guys make the decision. We're going to leave the phones in our bag. So then if we get a phone call, we can look at it, but then we put it back in there. If it's not the kids, we ignore it. When we're together, we don't do that. And if we find each other using our phone when we're together, then if it's something that's important, okay, there should be phone time. Phone time is fine. But if it's something important, you're on a date or whatever, you guys should be spending time with you. You should be in the present, and you should be here and not in the phone. Simple as that. You have to do it that way. If you don't do it that way, then your relationship's going to struggle. So to get their attention, here's what I would do to get their attention. You'll be sitting on the couch. Send them a text message. Ask them a question. Do that several times. Honestly, do it enough that it annoys them. Because if it annoys them enough, then what'll happen is they'll be like, "Why don't you just talk?" Well, but I figured you were on your phone. I just wanted to be there with you since you were on the phone. I figured I'd pull my phone out and we could have a conversation. Seriously, that's not being a jerk. That's not overreacting. If you're there with someone, if you're on a date with someone, if you're spending time with someone, when you go to a restaurant, do not put your phone on the table. Put your phone down beside you or leave it in your pocket. That should not be the number one thing that is appearing anywhere when you're on a date. So shame on your partner, because that's just wrong, and it should never be that way. The right thing is to do the right thing and be present with the person that you're with. When my wife and I, we have this thing when it comes to our kids, the phones do not sit on the table. If you're going to have dinner with us, we're going to have dinner. Simple as that. It's about spending time with each other, getting to know each other, and talking. That's what that's about. Plain and simple. Hey, Devin. Every time I open Instagram or Facebook, I end up feeling like a failure. All I see are people my age traveling, getting promoted, buying houses, getting engaged. Meanwhile, I'm just trying to keep my head above water. I'm exhausted, constantly comparing myself to everyone's life, but I feel like I can't help it. I know I should stop, but it's hard when it's right there in front of me all the time. How do I break the cycle of comparison and learn to be happy with where I am at today? Comparison, guys. Seriously, comparison is going to be the death of everybody. If you need to stop comparing yourself to others, stop talking about how much they have versus how much you have. Okay, we have our oldest son. Growing up, raising our kids, we have 5 children. Our children always had the things that they needed, some of the things that they wanted, and then some of the things that we wanted them to have, if that makes sense. But we never gave our children. If our kids wanted something, we made sure that they earned it. Our kids, when they do something, they want to make some money, we make sure they figure out how to make money, and we help them to figure out how to create that job. Whether it's a cleaning window wells, whether it's putting up a lemonade stand, whatever, babysitting, anything like that. Our kids can, if they want something, they can buy it. Now, our oldest son, he struggles even now with the thought of missing out on having the newest stuff. And part of that is a detriment because it controls the way he thinks, because he felt like he never got the coolest things. So he had friends that always had that came from very wealthy families, and they always had cool stuff, and they always bragged about those cool things. And so he wanted to be just like them. And because of that, it's changed him where he gets, lack of a better word, he gets ghetto rich. So he gets a big lump of money and he blows through it to get all the cool stuff, but then he has nothing to account for other than the stuff. There's nothing set aside for the future. There's nothing that there's there to help him to, better his life. It's just immediate. He compares himself to everybody. And if his life is not like social media, what you see, then it's just not right. Stop comparing yourself to people on social media. Seriously. And I can say this because I can tell you, I know some people who do travel Instagram or Airbnb Instagrams or look at this cool place that we're living right now, Instagram type stuff, right? Jesse says, my kids come from a very poor family, and they are so grateful when they are able to just buy gum. It's the little things, honestly. And that's one thing we've tried to teach our kids is if you can teach them to do the little things, and you be grateful for the little things, then everything else works itself out. It is cool to have the brand new iPhone. It is cool to have all these cool things and everything that, the brand new stuff, the brand new Xbox, brand new, whatever it is. That's nice, but it's not needed. And I think if you give your kids everything, if you're constantly always giving them everything that they think they need or you feel like that they deserve, you're ruining your kids. My opinion. And you shouldn't be ruining your kids. You need to be teaching your kids to be good adults. I mean, really, if that gum ends up in the trash can, I'd be grateful. I mean, seriously, the thing is, be grateful for what you have. Don't compare yourself. Comparison literally kills you. And then you feel like you're never enough. It sucks on your soul so much that you just feel like you're a failure. And that's what this person's struggling with is that comparison overload. I have friends that their Instagram is 100% fake. When I mean fake, it is fake as can be. Now, they do go to these locations. Like, they'll go to super nice houses. She'll go in, she'll get in her swimsuit, and it's houses that are for sale. I'm telling you the secret here. They go to houses that are for sale. They get the tour of the house. She'll go and take photos in there, laying by the pool. He'll go, look at the, like he just coming out of the closet, whatever. They'll stage the entire thing in houses that they don't have just to brag about how cool their life is. It is, so we have to understand, it is, well, you're right. I mean, you don't have to judge. People are doing their best. And the thing, okay, the thing is, and what my friends are doing is completely fake. Most people understand that, but not many people do. And, we got to stop judging ourselves, and we need to stop envying the things that other people have. Just be grateful for what you have. Be grateful for the little things. I mean, it's like, my wife and I, we would go on a date, and especially when we were younger, raising our kids, a lot of our date nights literally consisted of going down the main street where we lived, window shopping, walking together. We may stop and buy maybe a drink or something or an ice cream. That was the extent of our dates. And I had friends that were going, they'd go stay in these lavish hotels, or they take these amazing trips and do all these things. And sure, that is awesome. I want to do that, but I'm not comparing myself to them to put myself in debt, for one, to try to be something that I'm not. We were having a family, and we were doing the family thing. And so that became priority over anything else. So we pivoted, our life pivoted, our life changed a little bit. That's it. You said you're grateful. You're so grateful. Your kids are grateful too, and you don't sugarcoat. They know the life we live. Here, the thing is, okay, we need to stop sugarcoating things. Our children are pretty resilient. There are some things that our kids don't need to know, but I've always said it, and I will say it again. It's like, even the budget, your kids need to know how you budget. They need to know the money that's coming into the house. They need to know all those things, not to the fullest extent. They need to have an understanding of to do it. And as they get older, you give them a better understanding. And this may be, I'm probably giving bad advice, okay? But the reality is, when it comes to it, your kids need to be aware that money is not free and it takes time to get. And you know what? If they understand that, then they'll be better off in the future when they get money. They'll stash it away. They'll put it away. They'll invest it so they can get away from, I hear a lot of people talk about the generational curses of being poor. That is a thing. It is there. Part of that is because they don't teach people how to create wealth anymore. They teach us how to work because they want us to be workers. But if we would teach people how to generate wealth, how to create money so we can have it set aside for in the future. But here's the thing. No one's going to teach you that. You need to go buy a book. You need to find you a mentor, and you need to ask the right questions to do it. Well, okay, here, you probably are doing the right thing. You love them. They love you. They can be a little lazy. Okay, every kid can be a little lazy. Simple as that. Every kid can be a little lazy, but how you fix that is give them tasks. One, make sure your kids have chores. And the more we ask our kids to do, the better they will be. Okay. Now, my kids, how we do it in our house, my kids have one priority. Their number one priority is school. Do good in school, get good grades, learn to study. Okay. Now, school is not the main thing that's going to take them throughout life. But you do need to graduate. You do need to do those things. And then if you don't want to go to college, you don't have to go to college. I do require my kids to get as much education to do whatever they want to do for their living. Simple as that. Now, if they're going to be a doctor, they got to go to college. If they're going to be a plumber, they need to go learn to do plumbing, and then they need to do not internship, but they need to do the shadowing and all that other stuff to become a master plumber. So we need to teach our kids to do the things that are hard and work. And part of that is doing chores around the house. I will tell you, I enjoy vacuuming the house. I don't want to vacuum the house. We have enough kids in this house that live here with us, with all my kids. Out of the 5, we don't have 5 here anymore, but we have 3 here. They can help out. My kids do the dishes. I don't have to do the dishes. I will do the dishes. I do help out with the dishes. I do help out with the vacuuming. I do the laundry. They do their own laundry. Our job as parents is to teach our kids to be self-sufficient and to do the right thing. Now, what we need to do, we need to teach our kids to not compare themselves to other people. Don't be envious. Stop looking at the things that other people have and say, well, I have this. You can. What you need to do is tell them, yes, they can. Well, that's good. You have 2 cats, and they're cats. I don't pressure them to get A's, though. Well, it's right. So, we have our goal is to, when it comes to grades, of course, as a parent, I'd love to see my kids get all straight A's. I don't want to. If they're getting F's, I have a problem. If they get D's, I have a slight problem. I'm kind of okay with a C. If I see that they're putting in effort, because honestly, some of the stuff they learn in school is garbage. They'll never use it. It's irrelevant in life, and I get that. But when it comes to kids in general, as long as they're putting in as much effort as they can, they're going to be fine. It's an effort thing. Everything's effort. If you could be the worst, if you put in effort, it should be recognized. And if people can recognize that the effort that's being put in, then everything will be fine. You got to have effort. And that's why I push the chore deal here at the house, because I can see when they've kind of halfway done it. When I can tell when the floor has just been I vacuumed it. They did 2 strips. The floor's not vacuumed. Our middle son, he the other day he just started. We swap out the chores occasionally, and he just started doing the dishes. And I've noticed, instead of just unloading the dishes, I've noticed that he's been making sure the dishes are rinsed off in the sink. And I hate stuff in the sink, and he takes them. He takes the dishes and he puts them in the dishwasher. So that's amazing. He does that. F stressed me out. My daughter's getting them last year. She's in middle school. So, okay. let's talk about school. I'm okay with this. F's do stress me out too, because part of this, okay, here's the thing. I'm getting off topic, but that's okay. This is the topic we need to talk about. Growing up in school, when they found out I was dyslexic, with the fact that I have dyslexia, never goes away. It's something I'll always have. It's something that's always going to be here. It's sucky. It's just life. It's part of it, right? Now, that being said, my teachers treated me like crap. I had teachers, I remember this, my teachers calling me stupid to my face, telling me I'm worthless, I will never amount to anything. I just didn't understand how to study. I didn't understand how to do the work because the way they were teaching it didn't make sense to me. And because, so dyslexics, we learn differently. In many cases, there's a video. I wish I could find the video. I have it saved somewhere, but there's a video that it shows how the mind, kind of the way the mind of a dyslexic person is, and it basically lays out where most people will they have an internal voice, and then when they read something, that internal voice is reading it. When someone's dyslexic, we will read it. That's one reason I stutter a little bit when I read, because I'm trying to focus on what's being said. Yeah. So when I was my parents ended up pulling me out of school, and then they homeschooled me, and then when they started homeschooling me, then my parents, it was hard for my mom because they pulled me out, they pulled my little brother out, and they homeschooled us too. That being said, we drove my mom crazy because not only she's raising us, but she's also trying to teach us too. That being said, you go in and she allowed me to learn how I needed to learn. She allowed me to show her the best way for her to teach me. Now, that how that works was, I'm hands-on. And when I do things, what the heck is happening? When I do things, because I'm hands-on, okay, back to what I was saying about my brain. When most dyslexics, what happens is we see a word. Say we see a word, and this is one reason we'll reverse certain letters. So like B's and D's will be reversed, and we'll have, or even P's, because we'll flip it upside down. In our brain, we have the internal monologue, but we also have that word. We can see a 3-dimensional view of it going around and see it. We literally see a 3-dimensional view of the word, and we do that for everything. Most dyslexic people can go through and they will figure out exactly how to take something apart and put it back together really, really quick. I mean, I'm about to upload a video to to TikTok. Is uploaded right now. I just have to post it. It's something I did today, because if I don't work with my hands, I kind of go crazy. So there's always something I do. Like I love woodwork. I do woodwork all the time. Right. Well, not all the time. I closed the shop down for now because we will be moving next year. So I've got that pushed to the side. So, but I had this old drill, and I ordered some of these air horns from Amazon. And so basically what I did, I created a horn with a drill. It's a cordless horn is what it is now. So it's an old drill, but it was a brand new drill that I just never opened. I got it. I can't remember where I got it from, but I got it, and I'm like, I just sat in my garage forever. I'm like, I finally said, okay, I need to do something with this thing. So I did something, right? Now, when it comes to learning, for me, it's not about the grade. I do expect my kids to get a decent grade. So if they want to get, good scholarships and good things like that for school, that is important. Straight A's are not what they have to have. Our oldest daughter, if it was below an A, she freaked out. That's our oldest daughter. And she has amazing grades even right now. She's working on her master's degree and things like that. So it's kind of crazy. So, but with all that said, you have to figure out how to get your kids to learn. Schools need to change the way they teach kids. We need to be able to there is no one paper cut stamp on how teaching should be done. The way teachers teach, it caters to a portion of the kids, but does not work for everybody. It's impossible. And so that's the thing. We have to do what's right. And and that's one reason we go pulling this back into comparison. You got to it will drain you, and you got to stop comparing the way you do things than the way other people do things, because your sanity and your happiness needs to thrive on this. You have to do it. That's good. That's good. It's very, to me, it's so frustrating the way we assume things are going to be, and the way we assume schools are going to be. And, and I understand that, we have to work, and I understand that schools in general, honestly, I wish more people were capable like my parents did to homeschool their kids, because in many cases, schools get it wrong most of the time. It works for a certain type of group, and that's it. That's really how that works. So we have to do the right thing for our kids, and although it may be difficult, we can figure it out. And the thing is, as our kids see us figuring this stuff out, it teaches them how to figure things out. They're like, okay, mom and dad did this, and they figured out, what's the right thing to do for this and how to handle this. It's life can be hard. Don't get me wrong, life can be hard, but it's worth it. And raising kids is, someone asked me if I could do it all over again, would I have the kid would I have kids? And my answer is yes, I would. No matter the struggles that we've had in our family, no matter the blow ups and things like that have gone on, and I would do it all over again. I love every one of my kids. They're the greatest things in the world. And I'm glad to be, honestly, glad to be their parent. So I agree. You kind of did homeschooling during the pandemic. Most, like everybody did. We did the same thing, and it was not. I'm not a good teacher, and then also on the other side, my son is not a good student. My youngest son, he's not a good student for me to be a teacher for. But you're right. YouTube does help. The thing is, and that's one thing. Honestly, that's one thing that there's some people hate Elon Musk. Some people love him. I'm indifferent with them. I don't care. I think he's a very intelligent man. Now, yes, I agree. Kids do get frustrated. The thing is, Elon Musk said it right. He said, if you want to go to college, and he went to college, he says college is basically for people who want to just prove that they can do chores. Now, he's like, if you want to know something, go to YouTube. You want to know something, go to look it up online. There's so many unlimited resources when it comes to the things that are out there for education. It's amazing stuff that we didn't have when I was a kid. I mean, seriously, when I was a kid, I described to my kids how when it comes to education for me, when I needed to know something, I had to go into the family library, and my dad had what I think it was the World Book encyclopedias. And we'd pull out the encyclopedia, and that was the most current update truth of society. It was in those encyclopedias. So yeah, that's how I learned things in growing up. Was that we didn't have Google, we didn't have all these other things. That was how we learned things. So yeah, it's hard. Raising kids is hard, but it's good in the end. I mean, it's totally worth it. Hey, Devin, my partner has been dropping hints that they want to move in together. And while I love them, I'm just not sure I'm ready for that step yet. We've been dating for a year, and I'm worried that moving in will change things and make it harder if we ever break up. I like having my own space, but I don't want them to think I'm not serious about the relationship. How do I explain this without making them feel like I'm holding back or don't want a future together? Okay. I have very strong opinions when it comes to stuff like this, okay? And when I say this, I'm going to, it's, don't move in. Don't move in. Seriously. Don't move in together. Don't put yourself in that situation. Especially if you don't feel comfortable doing it, do not do it. It will be the most detrimental thing you do for your relationship. If you move in together and if you're not comfortable with it, if you're thinking that you guys could break up, you don't do it. Honestly, I'll say it. You don't move in together even before you're married. Yes, I went there. Call me old school. I don't give a crap. The right thing is going to be the right thing. And if there needs to be some type of mystery when it comes to a relationship. And by not moving in together, adds that mystery. By not showing off all the goods is that mystery. Now, I know we're in a society that totally does not follow that type of thinking, and that's sad. It should, because it's kind of like when people talk about the whether it's abortion, whatever wants to be politically motivated these days. Accountability is accountability. Doing the right thing is always going to be the right thing. And you, by saying that you're nervous about moving in, even though you've been dating a year may not be long enough. Seriously. It's like, here in Utah, I see people and these young kids, they get married at such a young age. I mean, like literally some of these young kids come back from a mission in which they get, they go on a mission when they're like 18. So they come back and they're 20 years old. Now, there's nothing wrong with this. People, it can be done. I think it's kind of crazy. Now, on the other side, I did get married when I was 23. So be it. It's fine. It can work, but it does take a lot of work. It does take a lot of effort. You don't know someone that well in a matter of a few weeks to get married. You've known this person for a year. They want to move in. So you know each other pretty decent. But if he hadn't put a ring on the finger or you haven't put a ring on her finger, don't do it. Seriously. Off topic. But I'm a Youngblood on my mom's side. And I'm LDS too. Where are you from? I can get off topic because I'm a Youngblood, obviously, and grew up LDS outside of Utah. I live in Utah right now, but we're getting ready to move back south, which would be nice because we want to get back south. But yeah, where are you from? Just give me a state. Don't have to tell me exact location because we could be related. Because honestly, Youngblood is a kind of popular name. Okay, Tulsa, Oklahoma, possibly. Shoot me a message. And I want to do some comparison. I'll see if we can get some family history ties together. That'd be kind of cool. Shoot me a message of your full name, and I'll message you back because that'd be kind of cool to find out. I have another relative that I don't know. Because I will say this. Well, I'll ask you this question: are you pretty awesome? I mean, seriously, it'd be kind of cool to know there's other people out there that have that come from the same Youngblood strain of people out there. And if you are pretty awesome, then you have to be related to me because that's just how that works. Because I'm only related to awesome people. Sorry. There we go. Anyway. See? I knew it. So we are related. That is for sure. I'm going to have to get you a t-shirt, by the way. I am going to be. So we just got some new t-shirts. I haven't talked about this much. I haven't even posted about it. I think I did one live the other day and showed off the shirt a little bit. But I've got the t-shirts. I'm going to do a giveaway. So I'll see if I can we'll get you entered into winning a t-shirt because I'll totally want people to represent the Youngblood name. So anyway, what kind of questions do you have? I can put this topic. This is just an email question. Let's talk about anything you want to talk about. I'll even add you to the live if you'd like to, and we can go that route. I'm cool with that. So, yeah, and this is one cool thing about life is you come across people, you meet people. The cool thing about the internet is you get to talk to people that you've never talked to in your life. You get to see people that you never met before. And I'll put it this way: one of the cool things about the internet, not on top of the fact that we could be related, is I have a really good friend of mine. I've never met him at all. We've talked almost, I would say, at least once to every one time a week to almost every day of the week for the past 3 3-4 years at least. He lives in Ohio, and I've never met him. And I call him a friend. We've just gotten to know each other through the internet. This is the thing that boggles the mind, because you don't get into car with strangers. You don't do any of that stuff. That's bad, unless they're your Uber driver, and then you pay the stranger to get you some places. But yeah, the internet is just cool. The things that you can do, the fact that people email me and ask me questions, and they're willing to trust me with giving them advice, sometimes good, sometimes bad. I don't know. I'm just a dad that gives advice. That's all I do. So yeah. Anyway, let's go. All right. Anyway, yeah. As far as moving in with your partner, I mean, it's your call. I say no. I say it's dangerous. I say you guys have been dating for a year. Come on, do the right thing. And if you like the person enough, well, it's like you obviously don't like the person enough to move in, because you do like your space. Now, you don't have to give up your space. You don't have to give up anything when you move. Like when I got married, yes, I gave up my space. I gave my space to my wife. Everything that no matter what house we are, it is her domain. She is in charge of it. Whatever she wants, she gets. It is hers. Now, and like I pulled in one little corner of one room to do this, because it's important to have your own space. Now, when you get married, I'll say that you're going to share the house with the person, but you still need your own place. It's kind of like having your own money. You need your own money. Everybody needs their own money. You also need our money, and then they need their money. There's three bank accounts at least, just so you can function. So yeah. Anyway, that's my opinion. Don't move in together. If you feel uneasy about it, then you feel uneasy about it for a reason. That's probably what you should do. Whether you listen to me or not, that's okay. That's your call, not mine. What else we got here? Hey, Devin. My 8-year-old's behavior has been getting worse lately. They're acting out, being disrespectful, and nothing I do seems to make a difference. Timeouts, take away privileges, and even trying to talk things through aren't working. I feel like I'm constantly at war with my own child, and it's exhausting. I'm starting to wonder if I'm doing something wrong, or if there's a deeper issue that I'm missing. How do I figure out what's going on, get my kid back on track without losing my patience? What are you feeding your kid? I went there. I'm talking about it. I will bring it up. What are you feeding them? I'm dead serious. When it comes to, we blame bad behavior on a lot of things, right? One, they could be getting outside influences with their friends. Sure, that could be there. Two, you could be, as you said, you're trying to do all the things to discipline them. Okay, but that's not working. You need to look at what you're feeding your kid. Dead serious. My parents, this was forever ago. I'm 46, so my little brother, I remember specifically, my mom would allow my brother to have candy, but he was never, ever allowed to get candy with red dye. Dead serious. That is the thing. Never, ever get to have candy with red dye. And I say that because they've proven, they've talked about it, how the red dyes are so bad. Actually, all the dyes are bad. But the red dye does alter people, kids, and in general people, their personalities. It does force them to do things that they shouldn't do. I mean, your kids should be respectful, for one. And I'm call me too Southern or whatever. But the reality is, when it comes to being a kid and being a parent, your kids should be saying, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. That is non-negotiable. And I say that because that is the utmost respect, and we need to teach our kids to have respect, not just for them, not expect that they get respect. If they give respect, just they give respect no matter what. Because the reality is, you're not always going to get respect in your life, but you can 100% be the person who gives it. And how would you like to be known as the person who's just not respectful? You can't do that. It's just wrong. I mean, you have to be able to be respectful. You need to be able to do the things that matter. And if you show respect, you're going to get way further in life. When we first moved to Utah, our oldest son was going to school, And I've told this. I'm sure I told the story before, but we got our son entered into middle school. He's going to middle school, and then we get a phone call, and the phone call, it was actually great. So this was actually elementary school. We get a phone call from the teacher, and the teacher said that our son Jacob was not being respectful. Well, that doesn't apply in our house. You will be respectful. Simple as that. And so the teacher wanted to have a parent-teacher conference. So we went to the parent-teacher conference. When we were there, we asked the questions. We asked what was wrong, what was going on. And the teacher tells us, well, he's just not being respectful with how he talks to me. I'm like, okay, we can solve this problem. Tell me what's wrong. Tell me what's up. I need specifics because we will handle this in a very specific way based off of what is going on. And when she says, well, he says, yes, ma'am. I'm like, okay, whoa, time out. How does he say it? Context matters. This is why text messaging sucks. This is why you should, when you text someone, you don't try to read into emotion into a text because you can be completely wrong. So I said, ask me the question and I'll reply. And then we'll try this out and see if we figure out the right way. So she asked me a question. She said, and I said, yes, ma'am. She goes, no, not like that. I said, okay. So he goes, yes. I said, yes, ma'am. So I put little inflections on the ma'am, and on the second time, on the first time, and she says, no, not like that. And the second time she asked me a question, and I said, yes, ma'am. She goes, like that one. I said, okay. How old are you? She goes, excuse me. I said, how old are you? She goes, well, I'm 26. I said, okay, you're 26 years old. And you have a problem because my son is saying ma'am to you. That's the issue. She goes, well, I feel like I'm old. I said, well, you are old. You are older than him. Now, one thing when it comes to Southern upbringing, unfortunately, I am not going to discipline my child because he says yes, ma'am to you. If he says it in a smart alecky way, 100% will take care of that. But he said he's being respectful. And so, if you teach your kids to be respectful, and you teach your kids to say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes or no, sir, that will give them a setup for the future where they can be honestly, that will bring your children success in the future. I'm dead serious. Do I say it at 46 years old? Yes, ma'am, I do. 100%. Because it's those things like that change how people look at you. That changes how people act towards you, and it can create a great environment for you for your success. So, to go back to your kids' behavior, one, it comes down to look at what they're eating. Two, are you teaching them the right things to have that type of respect? If you're not, you need to start. They're your kids. You need to train them well. You need to teach them well. You need to make sure that they are doing the things that are required to be a good person in society. That is your responsibility as a parent, and it's hard, and it's sucky. It is, and sometimes it's going to get to the point where it is. So in some cases where it will make you cry so much because your kids do things that hurt you so much, but you still love them. But again, if you're doing those things, then you get done. Even honestly, you're 55, so you're just a little bit. So you got a few years on me. Why would you tell me your age? You're not supposed to tell people your age. You're a lady. Ladies don't tell people their age, by the way. And you are right. It is respectful. I mean, anyone that does, if you don't teach your kids to say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am, you are doing an injustice to them. It is not, that is something it is destroying their ability to progress faster in life. If I said that to anyone at a store, someone trying to doing customer service stuff, and I needed some help, and I said, yes, ma'am, it may throw them off a little bit, but then they also, when they realize, hey, he's being respectful, that's just what it is. They will go above and beyond. It's plain and simple. It is the founding, I would say that is the founding level of respect when it comes to anything and everything is yes, ma'am. So I know you're frustrated with your kids, and you feel like you're not a bad parent. You're not failing. Okay. Don't think you're a failure. I can tell you some stories about some stuff that's going on in our family. That's one reason I took the live stream. We didn't live stream yesterday like I normally do because we were dealing with some family stuff. You're proud. I'm proud to have made it this far. I'm going to brag about it. You should. And so just, I tell people I'm 46 years old. In reality, when I tell them I'm 46 years old, internally, my brain is saying I'm at level 46, like a video game, because the higher level you get, the more experience you have and the better you are. So you are a little bit further ahead of me in that in the video game of life. So all I can say is that is amazing. And I think you're right. If we own up and we grab those things, we're like, yes, we got this. So, seriously, it's a beautiful thing. Age, people freak out about age. I don't understand why people freak out about age. Age is amazing. And seriously, I would not want to be in the 20s again. Never, ever would I ever want to be in my 20s again. I mean, now my body, maybe I want my body to be in my 20s again, but people should be in your life more often. I mean, it's just a matter of people sharing and telling people. I mean, it comes and goes. I mean, I do this. This is fun. I enjoy it. But yeah, I would take if I had, well, even in my 30s. Actually, in my 30s, I was the largest I've ever been in my life. So I was a fat boy in my 30s. I ate good in my 30s. I knew nothing in my 20s. I was a dumb 20-year-old kid raising kids with my wife. And then I turned around. Honestly, I love my 40s. I'll say it. 40s are amazing. It's and that may sound like a weird dynamic. And I'm just assuming that by aging, the older I get, the more fun I'm going to have. I'll say this. So and I can't tell you what it was, but in past couple of months, several months, all through summer, mostly through summer, up until a few weeks ago, I got back. 40s were my favorite. Okay, so I'm not wrong for saying 40s are great. 40s are great. I'll tell you, I'm 46. My wife is going to turn an age. I won't let. She will be turning an age in her 40s here in a few weeks. But I've done some things. Well, don't be scared of getting older. You're 18 years old. You're just a baby. And I mean that the kindest way possible. You got so much amazing stuff ahead of you, by the way. I'm bouncing around a lot, I know here, but you don't be scared of getting older, because if you got two people here, Gina's saying that her 40s were amazing. I'm in my 40s and I'm saying they're amazing. And she's in her 50s. Holy crap, this is awesome. So you're at level 18 right now. So it is a little nerve-wracking because life is changing for you. Things are getting different. Things are getting better. Things are getting scary because the world is coming in. You're having to navigate a whole different type of a society than what it was, because you're less protected from. You're becoming less protected because if anything, you're preparing yourself to get out into the world more. And when you're preparing yourself to get out into the world more people are, you're getting more and more responsibilities, which is sucky. I mean, if I knew half the stuff I was going to have to deal with as an adult, I really wouldn't want to be. I want the benefits of being older and having adult money, but not having to have the responsibilities of some of these things. If I had the responsibilities of my teens and my 20s now, man, life would be awesome. But yet, then again, I'll preface this. This is the thing. I'm bringing back all my thoughts here in just a second. But when I was in my 20s, I probably made the most money I have ever made in my life. Dead serious. I ran my own business. I was young. I'd have companies look at me and go, well, you're only 23, 24, 25 years old. You can't own a company. That's impossible. I did. I owned a company, and we did very, very well. I traveled to almost every state in the country. We worked on a lot of buildings and a lot of Home Depots, Lowe's, Tractor Supply, Reset, and all these different things. Make them nice and pretty. Did all that stuff, and I made a crap ton of money. Now, because I was young and stupid, I blew a lot of money too. Yes, awesome. It's just the unknown that's scary. I get it. And at home with family feels safe, but you'll have safety too when you build your own home. You're 100% correct. That is, no one could say it any better than that. That is the best way to say it. And the thing is, getting older is one of the greatest adventures in the world. And so if you think about it, another sidetrack, but if you think about getting older and how great it really is, you're able to gain so many more experiences in life. You're able to see more stuff in life. You're able to go things. Going back to what I was going to say before, I'm 46 years old, and I was invited to be in a TV show at 46 years old, and I'm competing in this TV show against 2,000 other people, and most of those people, I was old enough to be their dad. Dead serious. And I ended up being the so-called dad for a few of these kids because they were going through some hard times, and we sat down, we talked about things, and it was amazing. Now, that TV show, I can't say what it is because it hasn't come out yet. It does come out in December, and it's going to be on Amazon, and there'll be one video dropping on YouTube, but that's all I'll tell you. But I'm telling you, getting older, you're able to do so many more things and so much stuff, and you're doing things that you never even thought you'd ever do. It's just insane. It's awesome. And anyone that says it's getting old sucks, they're idiots. They have not learned to live their life. And I mean that in the nicest way possible, if you can call someone an idiot and mean it in the nicest way. But it's true. If you have to be able to, well, maybe it's because I try to be a happy person and I want to be a happy person versus dwelling on the garbage. There's a lot of garbage out there. And if you dwell on the garbage, it changes your life. And honestly, negativity bogs you down. It makes you feel like crap. It makes you not want to do things. It makes you just angry at things. And so why would you want to hold on to negativity? That's why, they tell people to have good affirmations, and I don't necessarily do that, but if you set yourself up to have good affirmations and you talk about the things that you want to talk, and you literally say things that are positive, your brain reacts totally different to positivity than it does for negativity. That is a true fact. If we can just learn to be kinder to ourselves, for one, you have to be kind to yourself. I think the biggest problem with most people, we judge ourselves harsher than we judge our friends. And I've got some pretty crappy friends. I've got some amazing friends too, but I got some friends that are just like, why are you doing that? And some of them are so negative and so bitter about certain aspects of their life. It's like, what puts you to that point? I mean, no one should ever be that upset about anything. What people should be doing is being happy with what they have, moving forward, and just getting experiences and things that are going to make you a better person. Simple as that. I mean, I have friends that are on every political spectrum you can think of. I have friends that are, believe the earth is flat. I have friends that believe all these random things, and it's okay. Will you have a good night? Heading to bed. I'll DM you with some family stuff. Please do. Seriously, I'll see where we connect down the line, because I'm pretty sure the Youngbloods is a common but not common name. It's something that people see and they're like, oh, I got to do this. So don't forget to go follow, subscribe, whatever all the young kids say out there. And then I'll definitely go in and follow you back, and I'll see where you fall in on family history, because there's got to be some connection somewhere. So, yeah. Anyway, you have a fantastic night, and we'll talk to you later. But yeah, I mean, life in general. Why would we want to be happy? Why wouldn't we want to be happy? We all deserve happiness. And yes, we do deal with some crappy things. Thank you. And we do deal with crappy stuff in life, but we shouldn't have to worry about it. We shouldn't have to dwell on it. I'll say it. I always say this, and I go back to this almost every day. And it's something that I think about. It's that Charlie Chaplin quote. And if you think about the quote, it is amazing. Charlie Chaplin, he says, life is a tragedy when seen up close, but a comedy in long shot. So if you understand that, if you see how that works, essentially, we're here. If you look in the movie, they got the close-up on just her face. Life can be sucky. Life can be very hard right here, right? But in long shot, once you pan out and you see the whole grand scheme of everything, man, it is freaking awesome. So again, why would you want to worry about the little things? Why would you want to hold on to anger? Why would you want to hold on to things that don't matter? If you have a problem with somebody, explain the problem. Have a conversation. And if that doesn't change, then it's okay. You don't have to dwell on it. You don't have to be right. You just have to be happy. Everyone deserves to be happy, so be happy. Anyway. Hey, Devin. I've been with my partner for 3 years, and we're starting to talk about the future. The problem is they want kids someday, and I don't. I've never really seen myself as a parent, and while I love them, I don't know if I'm willing to change my mind about this. I'm scared that if we stay together, this is going to be a deal breaker down the line. But I also don't want to lose them. How do we navigate this conversation without tearing us apart? Okay. This is a hard one, okay? This is a conversation that you guys got to have. You've been together for 3 years. You're talking about the future. One of you guys want children. The other person does not. I would ask the question. So I'm not going to tell you should or should not have kids. I will tell you the pros of having a child, and I will tell you will become a better person by doing it. And I'm serious about that. You learn to deal with some things that you shouldn't have to deal with in life, but you do have to deal with it, and it will make you a better person. 2, kids are freaking awesome. We've got 5. Did I plan on having 5 children? No, did not. Did my wife plan on us having 5 children? No, but I do know that our last child, she knew she wanted another child, and I was done. I was afraid we were going to lose my wife, but that's a story I've probably already told already. But anyway, we were told we shouldn't have any more, and my wife thought differently. So therefore, we have 5 children. It's fine. I'm not mad about it. Kids in general, though, kids matter. Kids deserve good parents. Serious as that. Kids deserve good parents. Kids need good parents. Your significant other, your partner, probably would be amazing with the child. And you would probably be amazing with a kid. Now, is this a deal breaker? It could be. Okay. Now, I'm not telling you this to con you into having a child, because that's not right. What I am telling you is, when you marry somebody, when you date somebody, you date people who you want to eventually end up with. You're getting to know their personality. You're trying to figure out that personality to find out if it's the right personality that fits with you. And then that person also has you have a certain level of goals that you set to be with that person. So if don't lower your standards. No one should lower their standards unless there's a reason to change your standards. Now, I'll say lower standards. There's nothing wrong with changing your standards, but don't lower your standards, okay? Now, having kids and not having kids, I would say that's a standard up here. That's not a standard down here. That's not lowering your standard. If you feel like you're lowering your standard to have a kid, that's a mental problem that you need to take care of. Kids are amazing. But when you date someone, and the reason I say this could be a deal breaker, you date and you marry people who will have the equal or better goals and standards as you do. Because you want to have someone that you're going to marry that's going to bring you up, that's going to make you a better person. And that goes on both sides. They need that, like my wife needs that, and I need that. I push my wife, she pushes me. Sometimes I push my wife and she pushes back harder, which is the way it should be. And so you have to have those talks. And if you can't have that talk and you're struggling to have that talk, and you say you're afraid of the conflict, but it is, it's one of those things that if you do it and you work through it and you have the conversation and you get to know the reasonings behind it all, you may change your mind. Now, if you don't, they may feel betrayed a little bit if things don't work out how they want it to go. Okay. Because at first you guys are on the same page. You both love each other. You both care about each other. But again, this could be a deal breaker for you guys. And it's hard. life can be hard. Life can be very difficult. But when it comes down to it, if you're both willing to make changes, then your lives can be better. So you got to have the conversation, break it down, talk. And honestly, before you have the conversation, you go through it. Why don't you want to have kids? You go down the cons and then also go through the pros. How would you benefit to having a kid? And if you don't know, talk to other people who have kids. Ask them why they had kids. Ask them if they would do it differently. And I'm sure many of them would tell you they would do it differently. We have friends that have 12 kids. We have friends of ours that don't have any kids. I have a friend of mine, he's had 8 children. I mean, it varies. Everything varies. Again, the bottom line is this. You do what you can, you do what you have to do, but you have to have the communication. And if you're not communicating with your partner, you're setting yourself up. You will have some failure there, and you don't need that. You don't deserve that. They don't deserve that. And this may be the thing that takes you guys to realize that you may not be compatible. And I mean that in a nice way, but you may not be, because their goals may be completely different than your goals. Because then if you have kids, are you going to take them to the same church? Are you going to raise them with the same type of standards? Are you going to have 2 different types of discipline? Are you going to have 2 different types of raising them and teaching them the right things? You got to be across the same board as that. And you have to be on this. You have to be on the same page. Those are the important things. So yes, I would ask a bunch of questions to your married friends and ask them about their kids. Ask them what's going on, and be open, and then have that conversation with your partner. Simple as that. Because if you're not willing to have that conversation with your partner, you're not willing to do anything else anyway. Open it up, think about it, write it down, figure out what you want to say, and then have the conversation. Plain and simple. Anyway. Hey, Devin, I've noticed that lately my friends only seem to reach out when they need a favor, whether it's to borrow money, asking for help, moving, or just looking for advice. It's like I'm only important when they need something from me. I don't want to be petty, but I'm starting to feel it's starting to feel really one-sided. I'm tired of being the go-to person for everything, everyone's problems, while feeling like they're never there for me when I need support. Should I say something, or is this just how friendships go sometimes? Okay, here's the thing. That is how friendship goes sometimes. Okay, sometimes. So you're obviously a good person. You're there for your friends. You're willing to talk to your friends. You're willing to be part of what your friends want to have. That's what they trust you. Your friend. So one, you need to take this as a 100% compliment. They trust you enough to come to you and talk to you. So I'm going to say this. What are you doing for me here? And I'm not bagging on you by any means. You came to me with a problem. I'm willing to give the advice. I'm willing to talk to you about it. I'm willing to give you my opinion of it. I get a ton of these emails. I just saw a voicemail come through with our phone number. So we have a phone number, guys. If you ever want to call in and just leave a message, you can do that. The phone number is simple and easy. It's actually a Nashville number. So because we're from Nashville. So it's 615-624-4141. Call in, leave a message. I will play the message that you leave if it's appropriate on the call, and we'll discuss it. So there's that. Now, the thing is, you're a good person. You're trying to do what you can to help people out. When they need help moving, you're there for them to move. But now you're feeling like it's one-sided. Okay, it's sad, it's hard, but I'm telling you, sometimes it's lonely being at the top. And yes, you're at the top. There's a lot of people who would just say, screw you guys, I'm out. And you could do the same thing. You could say, I'm not going to deal with this. I'm not talking about this. I'm done. Now, I do think for your sanity, you should put up some boundaries, okay? Don't be a doormat. You should never be a doormat. You need to be willing to help, but you also need to have your needs covered. So don't always be there. Say, I'm not today. So I had a friend of mine, and he would call me, and he has a lot of issues when it comes to family and ex-wives and stuff like that. And he'd call me, and he will doesn't do it all the time anymore because I set up a boundary. He would call me, and he would go through some stuff that's so horrific and so hard. Some self-inflicted, some inflicted upon him from others. So it's all choice. Many things are about choice. Well, our whole life is about choice. We choose to do things. If you want to get mad, you choose to be mad. If someone says something that causes you to feel angry, you're choosing to be angry. Everything's a choice, right? And so he would call me, and he would always ask me for advice. And it just got to the point where it was just getting to be too much. It was so hard. And so I had to talk with him, and it was a hard talk. And I'm like, here's the deal. I can't do this anymore. I need a break. My brain's overloaded. I need a break from everybody's problems, your problems, all that stuff. And he got a little upset, a little taken back. I don't think he was upset. He got taken back a little bit because he's like, well, what do I do? And I explained to him, I said, I just can't handle all of this. Some of this is just too much. And that's true. Things can be too much. So we put up a block. We put in a set of rules. And he will ask me now, hey, do you have time for some stuff? And I will say, I can do it today. Or no, not today. Today's a rough day. Because we all have problems. We all have the things we have to deal with, and it's hard. Life is hard. But put up some boundaries, put up some rules, so they know, and you can tell them. Say it's a lot to carry because when you're a person that takes in all the questions and all the weight of other people, you're essentially taking on a part of them. Every time I answer one of these emails. Every time I answer one of the voicemails coming in, every time I do any of that, I'm taking a part of every one of you guys, and it's becoming part of me. My brain will never let it go. I read this study years and years ago. I was a teenager when I read this. Essentially, our brains, everything that our brains see, everything our eyes see, our brain will log it. It gets in this giant, massive hard drive in our head. It logs it, and we know it. It's always going to be there. Now, I don't know. I think there's studies that said there's essentially our brains will do a dump of some sort. But I think that's one reason, like all the senses, when we like the smell of oranges or certain smells, like I can tell you my when my mom died, my dad gave me a apron my mom would wear when she would cook. And we wanted to give that to our oldest daughter because my oldest daughter and my mom were inseparable when my oldest girl was younger. They were always together. She loved her grandmama. And so my daughter didn't get the chance to go to the funeral this past year. And when I brought that back and I gave it to her, first thing she did, she smelt the apron, and she had a flood of memories come in. So our brains do log all that stuff. So when you guys, and so that's my point is, when you guys email me or you voicemail me or whatever you do, whether you jump on the live or whatever, I'm taking a part of you and it's becoming a part of me. And a lot of times it becomes that very emotional side. And because we talk about things that can be emotional, side tangent on this whole thing. We talk about relationships. We talk about marriage. We talk about death. We talk about everything. I will discuss anything and everything there is. I have no problem doing that. People throw up comments. I'll respond to the comments. Whatever is out there, you guys throw it at me and it becomes part of who I am. So when you're struggling with the fact that your friends are always giving that, sometimes it's okay to take a break. And trust me, I'm doing these live streams all the time. I will take a break because sometimes I just need to recompute. And then everybody's got family issues. Everybody's got problems that go on. And that's one reason yesterday I took a break. I needed a break. And it was nice. Really was. So yeah. Anyway, what's up? Oh well. Good night. Love you too. Hey Devin, I've lived at the same town my whole life, and I'm ready to leave. I want to move to a bigger city, explore new opportunities, and start fresh. The problem is my family expects me to stay close. They're always talking about how important it is for me to be near to each other, and I feel guilty even thinking about leaving. But staying here is making me feel stuck and unfulfilled. How do I make the decision to leave without feeling like I'm betraying my family? Leave. Seriously. The thing is, okay, family is important. To be, you take care of family, you do the things that help family. Family is the reality. But everyone has to have their own life. Now, it is good to have a family group where you're together and you're close and you help each other out. And you obviously are a good part of that for your family. And, but you don't want to feel stuck. I don't know how old you are, but you want to explore. And there's nothing wrong with that. What I would do this. Here's how I would handle this. I would start small. Okay. You obviously have a job where you are. Save money. Take some trips. Okay. You need to take trips. People need to travel. People need to go places and learn new things and see other cultures and develop better idea of our society, of the world, everything. You need to see everything. Start with trips. As you start doing that, then, because honestly, just moving to a city can be scary. Honestly, it is. But you need to do it the right way. So go explore new places. Take weekend trips. Go take week trips. Go fill that into your life. Make it where it's part of what you do. Once that's done, then move to the next level. Say, hey, I'm going to move here for a couple of months. If your job allows it, if you work remotely or whatever, do that, because then you'll be able to you'll be able to get the best of both worlds. But never forget family. You shouldn't. Family is what matters. Your family, whether they're good or bad, hopefully they're more good than bad, and you love them, they're going to be there for you no matter what. The thing, okay, you may have all the friends in the world, and they're awesome. But if you have good family, those are the people that are going to be standing beside you for the rest of your life. Forever. They will be the ones that will be there. They do take your crap, but then although you shouldn't throw your crap at them, you should just do it the right way. That's the reality here. But you need to go. If it's something that you need to do, and it's something, and the thing is, you may start doing it, and you're like, man, I don't like this. You have the option to go back. But never forget your family. You just got to be there for them. There's a phone, there's FaceTime, there's live streams, there's whatever. There's a tons of ways to communicate. But you need to travel. And tell them, I love you, but this is something that you need to do. It's a decision that you have to try out because you deserve happiness. And this is what will bring you some happiness. So go. My advice is to go. Have a good conversation. Your parents will still love you. Your family is going to still love you. They're always going to be there for you no matter what. But you can go. And you didn't need my permission to give you that. You just needed your own permission to give yourself that. You got to give yourself permission to live your life how you think you should live your life. That's the reality here. Give yourself the permission to do what you want to do. It's okay. And if it is a mistake, own up to it and say, hey, this didn't work out. I don't like it. You can go back. It's not a problem. It's not, if you're from a small town and their people are that one-sided, they've never lived. Seriously. They've just been stuck in that world forever. I have a friend of mine in my hometown in Georgia. He has never left the state. The furthest he has ever been is to Atlanta, Georgia. And that scared him. That's 2 hours away. Don't be that guy. Don't be that person. Go do and have the adventure, because it's the adventure that's going to make your life better. That I promise. Hey, Devin, I've been working my butt off at my job, and my boss keeps taking credit for my projects. Every time we're in a meeting, they present my work as their own, and I'm left sitting there feeling invisible. I don't want to cause drama at work, but it's frustrating to put all in this effort and to get no recognition I deserve. How do I address this without jeopardizing my position or making it seem like I'm throwing my boss under the bus? You got a boss that's a narcissist. I'll tell you that right now. Okay. This is a hard thing to navigate. So your boss is asking for accountability, and then they take the accountability and the stuff that you do, and they present it their own. That's what's happening. You need to go in and you need to give them accountability, but don't give them details. And then when it comes to having a discussion in a meeting, you say, I would like to present this week, and let them do it. And let them let you do it. Raise your hand, say, hey, I want to discuss my achievements for the week, and do those things. Have that conversation. If a narcissist feels like they're getting cornered, they're going to bite you. I'm dead serious. You have to be careful. You have to navigate this in a very important way. I highly recommend, and I tell everyone this, especially in our world we live in today, because narcissism is so rampant. It's all about me, 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 me. Go find a book, go to the library on narcissism, and read and study and work and figure out how to deal with it. Because if you can navigate things, and the thing is, to not deal with the narcissist, if they're taking all your credit for your work, you got to make it their idea for you to present it. If you make it their idea, you're going to be fine. It will be okay. It just comes down to convincing them to make it your idea, or their idea, should I say. That's all it is. Be careful. Don't corner them. Don't call them out, because your life will be pure living HE double hockey sticks. It will be. But you'll be fine. Find that book. Any book will do. You'll be okay. Hey, Devin. I've been dating my partner for almost a year, and I'm really happy, but my family doesn't approve of them. They say we're too different and that we're not the right fit. And they're even made some rude comments at family gatherings. It's starting to create a lot of tension, because I love my family, but I also love my partner. I don't want to be forced to choose between them, but I'm starting to feel like that's where this is heading. How do I get my family to accept my partner without sacrificing our relationship? You don't. Okay? You can't. If they have a problem they will eventually come around. Okay? Simple as that. They will eventually come around. It may take a lot of time. All right? I can tell you for one, as a person whose family did not like their potential future spouse, and then I broke it off for a while, and then we got back together because both of us were trying to figure out how to make both families happy with each other. You can't do it. It's impossible to make someone happy, especially if they don't like who you're dating. If you're dating a good person and they're just being overly critical and they're saying, well, you guys are just too different, it doesn't matter. Opposites do attract. It is a thing. What you need to do, set boundaries, say the right thing, do the right thing, and I promise you, it does work out. You just have to set that boundary. You have to let them know that, hey, this person is who I am with. You don't have a say so. The thing is, your parents, if you're an adult, especially if you're an adult and you're dating someone and your parents disagree with who you're dating with, Why do they have a say-so? They don't. They don't have any say-so. Plain and simple. So to solve the problem, do the right thing. If you guys eventually get married, you can do the conversation like I had with my parents. You have a new daughter-in-law or you have a new son-in-law, right? I told my parents, you have a new daughter-in-law. You don't have to like it. But she's part of the family. That's your choice. That's your call. But just so you know, if you don't like it, we won't come around. We don't have to come around because we don't want to deal with this stuff. And then honestly, we'll probably eventually have kids. And you're never going to see those kids either because of the way you're treating us. It's that simple. Anyway, I hope everybody's has had. Wow, can't even speak tonight. Has had a great evening. I hope everybody's doing well. Hope you're happy. Hope you're healthy. Keep doing the right thing. Don't forget to give your loved ones a hug. Tell them you love them. Feel free to send me a message. You can always call it in. Number 615-624-4141. Or you can email me, summit7vine@gmail.com. It's all there. Email me, message me, whatever. Jump on the live. We got you covered on that. Be glad to talk about anything. Always care about you. And if I got the answers for you, I'll totally give you the answers. If I don't, I'll figure something out and we'll discuss it together either way. But hope you guys are doing well. You guys have a fantastic evening, and I will talk to you guys later.